Listen, listen. My body is your body, baby. Nobody's invited but your baby. I can do it slow now. Tell me what you want. Baby, put your phone down. You should turn it off. 'Cause tonight is going down. Tell your boys it's going down. We in the zone now. Don't stop. Keep your hands on me. Just be right there. Rock my body. I can't keep my hands on you. Your body is my party. I'm doing this little dance for you. You got me so excited. Now it's just me and you. Your body's my party. Let's get it started. Boy, you should know that your love is always on my mind. I'm not gonna fight.
Hello, 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 hello. How is everybody doing? Let me know if you can hear me okay in the chat because we got to get into this episode. We're about to get into the love story, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited. When I say we, I mean myself and Ashley. Ashley, how you feeling? How you doing? Are you ready to get into the show?
I am feeling great. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, I can.
Okay. Yes, I'm feeling amazing. Happy Friday, everyone. I hope everyone had an amazing week. And you're ready to get into this episode a lot, in terms of who these people really always have been, in my opinion, was covered. And I need Carolyn to stand up, Tyra. Girl, when he took his raggedy duffel bag and she got down on her knees. Yeah, there's a lot to talk about. I need to talk about it.
She said, if you love me, you'd stay. She said, ooh, what lippy is that, Ashley? It's probably down in her chat, y'all.
This is, I actually don't think I have this linked. I don't know. This is Ruby Woo. This is Mac Ruby Woo.
Oh,
They
that's
did this
old
little
school.
collection. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's the vintage matte Ruby Woo, I think.
Yeah, you heard that vintage. That's what we do over here when we talk about love story. We pick up vintage lipsticks. Okay. Once again, thank you guys so much for being here. We most definitely appreciate that. Be sure to hit that like button and leave some commentary down below about our commentary on the show. Starting where we always start with these overall thoughts. I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna go first because I just want to know. Okay, why y'all gotta smoke like this on the show? Like, this was a beautiful episode. I love and it may see because I seen someone in the chat say that this episode was boring. I like when we have a one place setting because you have to really manipulate and do interesting things with your story and your characters because you're only going to be in this situation. It's kind of like a little stage play. And at the point of me realizing, like, oh, we're not going to leave this apartment. This is just that. What all are we going to cover here for an entire hour? I was like, oh, they're cooking. They're cooking. And this is a gorgeous episode. Like, Aretha said, beautiful gowns. When I tell you this was just editorial down, I say, what is going on here? What is going on here? Why do we have Carolyn smoking these cigarettes? It was opulent. It was art. I said, oh my goodness, I'm really going to miss the show. I felt like this was gorgeous. And it felt really present in their relationship about something outwardly looking beautiful, but on the inside it's just rotten and as toxic as hell. And that's just what they are. Everything aesthetically with them as a couple, everything in this apartment, because get into the apartment, honey, it's gorgeous, it's laid. But on the inside, internally, we are suffering and they let it all out bare. I feel like we finally got into some honesty. And the facade. It's like, I think a couple of episodes ago, I was like, all right, the honeymoon's over. No. The honeymoon's over now. Because now you're saying what you were feeling all along. But now it took for some tragedy and some hurt to get to the truth. I don't think these people should have gotten married. Ashley, overall thoughts?
I actually really, really enjoyed this episode. But if you've been here for any length of time, you know I'm a huge fan of exposition. I love character work. And so just the idea of these being the only two actors that we saw the entire episode, and we're seeing them in different stages and level of like demise in terms of the relationship. Like Tyra said, both of these people have been wearing a mask. And I know a lot of people in the comments up until this episode have really been like, oh, this episode made Carolyn look really bad, or oh, this episode made JFK Jr. look really good. This episode was bare bones, the raw, vulnerable for both of them, right? These are imperfect people in a relationship that they probably never should have been in. And I really, really enjoyed this. I think I rated it an 8 in my upload, 8 out of 10. I thought this was a super strong episode. And yes, editorial realness. That's what I said. I said, what? All of these are like, these are images for Vogue. And what I took from that, of course, was what she says later in the episode. You didn't want me as a partner. You didn't want me as your companion. You wanted me as a trophy. You wanted me as something to show off. You literally wanted me as this piece of art that you could put off on other people or present to other people. And when everything became common, I wasn't enough for you. I thought this was beautiful. I thought it was beautiful. What I will say, and this is probably my only note, I think when we do come into close proximity and all we have are these actors, we can see, we can see, we can see. And I'll just set it right there. These, I think they did a good job as actors, but you can see the cracks when it's just bare bones and it's two of them. There were moments when I was looking at Paul, and God bless Paul Kelly, the man who plays JFK Jr., and I was like, oh, baby. But I can see the growth and I can see where it's going, and I had a good time with the episode, Tyra.
Yeah, they've been around the block, but these are pretty fresh-faced, new kids on the block as far as the acting game, if you will. I can see all of Mama's influences when Carolyn gets emotional. But I had to take a pause for the cause and these beautiful gowns once again because we have to. Did you see the material in the episode? It was it was it was brilliant. Like I don't care. I don't care. Like I am a person who appreciates the little things. It's not always about well, it is. I'm gonna say it's about this. It's about the character direction and just the exposition. As I care about those things, but I'm also very shallow. If it looks good and it sounds good, I'm here for it. The music never fails. Whoever's on that, it's fine. But like some good cinematography, ciao. What time you want me to run your bath order? This was great. This was really, really great. I I like how artsy it was, and I didn't know what to do. I was like, I just want to hang this in my home. I just want to hang this somewhere. It felt just so highbrow, and I felt like it was the perfect just thing to really assert where Carolyn was at this point in time in her life. It was just like window dressing. Like it's just art and it just looks good. And she was just so miserable. And it felt like check on your strong friends. Check on your strong friends. And I just was kind of counting down the moments of all this beauty and like, is someone going to, I was waiting because once I realized we weren't going to leave this setting, I was like, who's going to call? Her family's going to call. Someone's going to check on her. We're going to have something outside of the stress that we have in the relationship as far as her and Junior. It was just nothing. It was just so lonely. Everything just felt really depleted. And I've been having a hard time trying to feel sympathy and a little piece of sorry as far as Carolyn is concerned. Here I felt it because I was like, oh girl, I was waiting and anticipating rebellion. And I was like, oh, next episode, it's up. It's up. Carolyn's going to be outside doing the most. She's going to call up that little model friend of hers and say, what you doing? Hey, big head. And it was just like, no, I'm just here and waiting and miserable. I was like, oh my gosh. I really felt sorry for her. But I just wanted to get into the smoke break. Ashley, anything else on these editorial shots, if you will? Mute it, Ashley.
I thought it was gorgeous. I
Mm.
like 10 out of 10, no notes. Like you said, every single one of these stills, and there's probably 5 or 6 more stills that we saw throughout the episode that are just completely breathtaking. And again, I think, it's a cage, it's a gilded cage, right? But it is still a cage. And what it has me really questioning though is while we can put some of the blame on JFK Jr., I really wonder at what point or if ever Carolyn ever kind of takes some ownership and responsibility, if she ever will, up until their imminent demise. Because, like I said, although it's a cage, it's a gilded cage, but it was also a gilded cage of your choosing,
Oh,
as we get
Nikki.
into later in the episode. And I really, that's what I will say. The other note, Connor Hines, I think, did a really, really good job of asking questions or having them have conversations around what he knew the audience would be thinking about both characters. And I really enjoyed that. I thought that was really smart.
Gwen said Carolyn needs a hobby. Not a hobby. Let's get into it because the way that I was all kinds of disgusted, no disrespect to anybody who partakes in the smoking of the cigarettes, but baby, the way Carolyn blows back those cigarettes and John just comes in and kisses her in the mouth. Oh god. I be so disgusted. I be so disgusted. I'm like, oh my goodness, it must just taste like a menthol tobacco factory in there because it just be going and she's going and she's smoking this whole freight train. But for me, this was the socialite versus the antisocial at this point because nothing has stopped for John. Nothing has stopped. And I think we started to notice this maybe 2 or 3 episodes ago. Life is going to go on. Whoever I was, the status quo is going to continue. He literally expected Carolyn to fall in line, fall into the life, and love it. At this point, we're not really about going outside. I am to assume, of course, that the paparazzi is still paparazziing. Nothing has changed for Carolyn, and she's become a recluse for the most part. I don't really want to leave this house. I don't want to go to the functions, the gatherings, any of that. This is so toxic. And I keep having to remind myself we're how far into the relationship? Like it's been 5 minutes. It's been 5 minutes. The way that they are at each other, you would just think that so much time had went by. And I keep having to remind myself it was only, a short window of them getting together, being married, and then we have the tragedy. But KFC was just not going to do it. John is trying to give pleasantries all around. And it's like, well, actually, I really want to know when you're going to join in. Kisses and all of that, but when am I going to have to stop making excuses about where you are and why you're not here? And when Carolyn runs down the list as far as the expectations, the parties that they're going to have to attend, which I love when we get into JFK Jr. because all of that rebellion, all of that, oh, I don't want to do that, and he has the rebellious tendencies in the wrong way. Like the rebellion of the everyday man and I'm gonna run and no security and this and that and kind of being wayward as far as jobs and selection. But when it comes to family and tradition, we have to be there. What do you mean you're not coming? Well, this is just what we do. Well, yeah, watching TV at that time is really, really, really wasteful. Yes, we're eating clams again because that's just what we do, and you're to do it too. You're a key. There's tradition there that we're just not willing to break or bend on. And she was like, okay, well, yeah, from what I'm hearing, we won't be able to go on vacation until next year. And I don't think for Carolyn it has anything to do with vacation. She just wants to go somewhere where she can disappear. I don't really have to worry about something maybe overseas. I don't know. I don't know where we want to go, but I know it's not here. And it's definitely not around your family. And I'm really trying to get into what they ever saw or thought about each other than the outward appearance or just the surface level things. Nobody studied, nobody really did any homework to think about the expectation of what was really going to be required to marry this person. This is just really sad, but nobody did their homework, so I can't be mad at anyone. Not at this point. I think they're both equal to blame as far as the dysfunction and why one person is unhappy with the other. I don't think anybody is compromising. Ashley.
Yeah, this was like opening. I was like, "Oh wow, okay." It's like, so how much further are we in the future? And it's like, "Oh no, this is still fairly close to when we got married," because you always think of newlyweds and there being this honeymoon period, and we're hot to trot for each other. They're screwing all over the loft, like we're having a good time at least when we're around each other. But this opening shot very much gave two ships passing in the night. It was like we're already into the monotony of daily life. Like, yeah, I'm loading the dishwasher, daydreaming about what my life could have been. And he's like, yeah, I had to make excuses for you again, Carolyn. Where are we at? I thought it was really interesting that in this conversation, it feels like we have not left where we were before, right? After the see you next Tuesday and her walking ahead, we pretty much knew that was going to be, one of the last events, that this was not going to be her ministry. But now let me kind of throw in this guilt card. And I think this is when JFK Jr., especially, his tactics became really, really wide open for me. And we've seen him do that before, but I think because it's been so spread out, it's not as noticeable as it was this episode. But that, yeah, because they're asking me and I don't know what to tell them, Carolyn. Like, damn, can you just, but I'm not trying to guilt you though. Like I'm really not. But you are, John. You want what you want, just like a petulant child. And her on the other side of that, I just, John, if we go to the Cape, that's not a vacation. I gotta wake up. There's no TV. You want to watch TV? It just really went to show how far apart these people were. Again, I don't think he saw her. And truly, I don't believe she saw him, like as in the real people. I think she loved the idea of marrying a Kennedy. I think she loved the idea of being that girl. I think she loved, like, when I walk into the room, everybody stops and stares. But when it became outside of her control is where I think she has the problem. Because just like he's rebellious, there's a rebellious arc within her as well. Like, I don't want to conform. I want to be my own woman, but I kind of like the prestige of this. And him on the other side, he never really gave a damn. I think she looked right. I think she was kind of an FU to his family. And I think that's really all he needed in the moment. He was like, she's beautiful. She's well spoken. I can bring her in these rooms and she's going to be fine. And she's like my type. Like, I can smash. Like, it's cool. And I also think they like the idea that this was like forbidden fruit, right? But yeah, no, this man, it's not that, baby. Mama knew, Carolyn. She told you the truth, baby, as we get to later on.
I just, it's just so early to be this problematic. I just wish we didn't get married so soon. Now I don't know why this is here, but child, let me see, because something is off with these dang on slides for whatever reason, y'all. But let me see. I don't know. Am I off? Am I robotic or anything? I feel like something is off.
No, you're fine.
Hmm. Okay. Well, since this is here,
There's
we
no
can talk
lag
about
or
it
anything.
anyway.
Yeah.
No, it's weird. There's like something on my end to where it's like delayed, like a tinge. I don't know. But since this is here, this was really like interesting, I guess. I don't put the two of them together, and maybe because the incident with Princess Diana is more so known, but without maybe just getting into, I guess, the incident as it occurred, just the parallels of the relationship and just the tragedy and the I just saw her of it all. I wanted to find that when she said I just saw her and we were at a funeral. I wanted to see exactly what that was, and I was like, oh, well, she was literally right there. And as far as just from what I could find in the with JFK in the relationship with Diana, there was just always, I guess, rumors prior to him, or right about marrying, or right before getting with Carolyn. He was, I guess, checking for Diana a little bit. Checking for Diana a little bit. From what the people say, said she had grace, she had a beautiful smile, she had a beautiful pair of legs, and she was extremely elegant. And she came, from across the water. They met up at this prestige hotel, went in for hours, supposedly talked, I don't know, and came out. They said I don't know what the relationship was or what happened, but John didn't have a bad thing to say about her, and it was like, oh, something that maybe could have happened. But John definitely has a type. John has a type down, but I thought it was really interesting just to get into the parallels of the loss, because just when I think about Princess Diana, and not that Carolyn, I just wasn't aware. I just never put the two and two together, but it's pretty on the nose as far as just the lifestyles, or uh just well, I don't know. I feel like Princess definitely got some hate. Was it as bad as Carolyn, or was it as sizable? I'm just really not that sure. But it's tragic all around, and it's scary. It's creepy. Ashley.
Yeah, I think the parallels, and I think that's kind of what we saw too in the episode when Carolyn is kind of seeing what happened. Like, oh my gosh, and that she was their princess, and this is what they did to her. What will they do to me? But definitely has a type, definitely tall, blondish, in the moment. And I ain't gonna speak on Princess Di, honey, because I don't know, and I know she was loved and hated. It's very odd because you hear about her journey in the royal family and how the queen treated her and all of that. But
Yeah.
the people, from my understanding, loved her. And so I
Love
think that's kind of the only difference there. But I do think that and I think for not for nothing, Carolyn's character, at least from what we've seen during the show, she kind of has an inflated sense of self. So I can see her in the mindset of, oh my gosh, she's just like me. Like I'm just like I'm just like her. And baby, I still don't think she has any clue or idea fully the pressure and all of the things that Princess Di was under, having two small boys. I think they're in two different completely places in their life, but definitely the overbearingness, I guess, of the paparazzi, the public attention. Definitely, I think that would be something that accurately paralleled. Again, I didn't know about the JFK connection. I ain't speaking about the JFK connection, honey, because I don't know what Princess Di
I just went over there. That's what
was.
people said. That's what I saw. I don't know.
I
So I
don't, I
saw.
don't know what she was doing over there, but I definitely see the parallels here. Ciao.
Oh man, yeah, that's what I was like. Just the I guess more so the lifestyle and the tragic death of it all. But they love them some Princess Di. Maybe not the queen in them. Maybe not the
Yeah,
royal family so much. But I was like, she was loved.
that's what I thought.
Carolyn, unfortunately, not so much. But getting where we were supposed to be, because this is the comment that I see the most left under if I go see anything. There's always a discussion about who, right? Who's at fault? Who do we blame? I can't. It's equal blame for me, and I think the show does a really good job of not making it one sided, because it would be easy, especially if we're going just off of the public ridicule, to lay it all in Carolyn's lap and just make John look like a good old boy. And well, you knew what you signed up for, and no. These people are equal to blame, and I could never just put it on one person. And I just wanted to answer that for anybody who drops down and asks that, or tries to come in here and maybe take up for one or the other. I don't think there's any room to do that on this show. Now, I don't know the inner workings and outs of their entire relationship, or, well, it's this one thing on the show, but I don't know about real life at all. I know what we're getting here, and we're only talking about what's here. On this show, it's the both of them. Ashley, anything you want to say?
Thank you. Because I didn't had to block a couple people for getting very aggressive in comments with other people and with me because they think we're taking sides. All we can do is give commentary based on what's being presented in the show. And I too, I've never felt like he was a perfect man, and I've never felt like she was the perfect woman. I will say in the earlier episodes, I was very much side-eyeing Carolyn because that's kind of the introduction that we got to her. But yeah, I think they're both equally to blame for the situation in their relationship. I think for the disparity and the disconnect and the lack of compromise, they're both at fault. They're both very obstinate. They both have very much their own idea of what they thought and wanted from their lives. And for whatever reason, those ideals don't include each other. And that's on both of them. These are both grown ass people. Even though she said, I'm just 33. Yeah, grown ass people who both had warnings before going into this from both of their families. Both sides said, hey, you sure about this? This is what you want to do? Like right now? So I mean, these were adults with full autonomy. Yeah, and both of them have a part to play in this, in my opinion.
I just wanted it to be known
Please.
because, man, y'all be mad at the bottom.
Hustling.
Y'all be taking sides down there at the bottom. But getting back over here into Miss Princess Diana in this loss, Princess Di. This this was really, really, really great. First of all, whoever is who's on cinematography and direction and making this look like the 90s New York, they are doing a fact. I was like, oh my goodness, where y'all at? What part of the street was this? It just looks really impeccable. But immediately, as soon as this hits the news, we just see Carolyn overcome with so much emotion, and she's just really resonating, not just because she's so close in proximity, and I had just recently saw her at this funeral, but I think she saw herself. This is all spooky. Like, I really don't like any of this. I think she saw herself. I think it was very sincere in her having a lot of empathy for the situation, but also if it could happen to Princess Di, it could happen to me. She was their princess and they killed her. She said they killed her. And it just kind of felt like, well, if they could do that to her, what does that mean for me? What is that? And I think it was not even just maybe feeling like some impending doom or something just coming on, but is this really what I want for myself? Like, you really start to contemplate your decisions and just life choices and realizing that life is short. And I've kind of attached myself to someone where this is going to be my everyday life. And I don't know if this is something that I want, but I do know that this is a tragedy. I'm emotional. And then it's turn to John. John, maybe the way John said, I thought John was about to break some dishes. I said, oh my goodness. He already has like this deep rooted just resentment, and you can tell it's like gritting teeth. Oh, you're in the house again. Oh, you really didn't leave today? Are you really not going anywhere? Oh, well, since you've been here all day, you're not doing anything. Have you washed a damn dish? Did you run the dishwasher before I fill it up with some water and catch my breath? You just really start to see him get emotional. But we saw this already, and we had to mention it earlier about the cousin. He was at the party too. How did he look? He looks frail, but he's going to show up because that's just who he is. But even in that moment, he automatically jumped into Mr. Fix-It mode. Who can I call? Who can I contact to get you in some type of treatment? We don't want to really get into what it means to have someone die or suffer or loss, because he's been pretty much surrounded with a lot of death, especially when it comes to his dad. That's just a part of the legacy that is the Kennedy family. There's always some type of tragedy. And I don't think the show can even just go there, because with John, there's probably nothing that he's going to speak on, but I would have loved to hear about. It's too hard not to connect those dots as far as just the continuous loss within the Kennedy family. I would love to know the thoughts on that, or what that did to the psyche. Was he always nervous? Was there just this vigilante spirit to try to like avoid something or live your life differently? I would love to know. But Carolyn can barely catch her breath before he's going out and he's going for a run. And I thought it said a whole lot about their relationship, that the vulnerable emotional side, he just couldn't even be that or share that with Carolyn. He decided to go out, and cry on the street and just kind of have this avoidant spirit. And by the time we get back in, we can really get into, well, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it because of my childhood. and this loss of my father, and everybody just focused on that. I don't really, too much remember my father. I was yay high when that happened. What I remember is the more so neglect and maybe the shutdown of my mother, because she had experienced that loss and she wasn't really there for me in the way that I needed her to. That's what I attach myself to. So we automatically get triggered when Carolyn just wraps it all up into one, like, oh, you should really be able to sympathize those poor boys, just like you and your sister. Like, no, that's not what this is. Like, you don't know. But I'm like, if we're not gonna know anything and you can't really fault Carolyn for something that y'all never talked about or you shared, they don't really get into those emotional imbalances or just the problematic things or things that John is shielded. It's just all been surface. So when something this hard hitting happens, oh, I didn't even know that you felt that way. I didn't know that you made this or something like death in connection with your mother or your father. I don't, unless I'm sorry, John. But yeah, for those reasons, Carolyn, I would prefer not to talk about it. Can we just move on? I was like, oh my goodness, this is just really, really unhealthy. And I just really wish that these people didn't get married. Ashley.
Yeah, I think the most shocking thing was the fact that these weren't conversations that they had very early. It's like, what was the foundation of you guys falling in love and really trying to know one another? I think, just think in my mind, when I meet someone, when you're courting or when you're dating someone, that's the time to ask all of the fact-finding questions especially once you've kind of gone exclusive, like, how did that make you feel? Like, it's the elephant in the room. Why would we not talk about this very, very early on, once we decided that we were really into each other? But I don't know, when the call came in from Lauren initially, I was like, oh God. She's like, don't scare me. What's happening? Don't what I was like, Lauren, if you don't call somebody, tell them just turn on the news, explain it. I hate that gives such anxiety. And so when she goes up there and she sees it, and immediately we see John worried about a damn water glass. Is this clean? Clean it, John. You can't pick up the Dawn and wash the glass. This is not the time. But I think it goes into his MO and what we've seen from him before. When things get uncomfortable, he, like you said, tries to fix it, or he's going to retreat. Like, he's going to leave. Like, there's never a time when stuff has gone wrong that he has not exited stage left. I got to get the hell out of here. And what I kept thinking throughout this entire episode were the words that his mom, the speech that Carolyn's mom gave, right? Like, just don't leave her in the front seat by herself. Make her a priority. Never leave her. Stay by her side. And it's like every time something comes up where it could be a moment that I could console, I can be there, he completely runs away. What I will say, I enjoyed this episode because I think it points out each of their flaws and that these are not perfect people. This is just the way he manages. He's like, I can't handle any more loss. And no, I wasn't thinking about Diana when I was running. I was thinking about you and how now after this, you're really never going to leave the house. And I'm like, baby John, it's so much deeper than that. And in this moment, she's like, well, tell me, like, we've never talked about it. I watched my mom die is what I felt like. So I've grieved my mother twice, and I don't want to do that with you. It sounded cute, Tyra. But in the moment, I'm thinking, you're manipulating this lady again, John. Again, it's about you wanting what you want from her. How can she be of service to you in this moment? If you really cared about her, becoming a recluse, a hermit, all of that, there's other things that you would be doing. This is about getting her to show up with you. I was thinking about you and how now you're never going to leave the house.
Never gonna
And
leave
what's
the
that going to do
house.
for you, John? I really think this is more about how it's impacting him than really how it's impacting her, as we see, later in the episode. But
Yeah. Yeah, they had that in common. Both of them are quite manipulative to me. I don't see, because I know Carolyn gets a lot of the blame as far as just who's manipulating who. And there has been some, especially early on, but at this moment, I don't know why I was waiting, or at least after he said, now I think you're going to use this as an excuse to never leave the house. That's what's on my mind. I thought he was going to ask her if she was depressed. I was waiting from the KFC chicken to all the 13 reasons why I don't want to go to the family functions, all the way to now. I thought that even if there seems to be a void with John and kind of being emotionally available, and it's very, okay, hugs. I'll see what I can do. And like I said, like if I can throw some money at it, that's always an option. But this isn't something that you can fix with money. She really needs you to be here and be supportive, or just try to. It's just like, yeah, uh, I don't want to talk about that. Now you're not going to leave the house. Like, are you? Are this should be a wake up call? I'm just like, what is? I think the death kind of had a weird effect on John, to where it's like a carpe diem attitude, live life for today. I'm gonna do what I want to do when I want to do it, F it type of energy, but also kind of with the avoidance spirit. He's just really emotionally unavailable to me. If it's not in a romantic sense, if it's not something picturesque, if it's not, summers on the vineyard and the family, and oh, this is just, some Hallmark-esque moment. When the hard stuff happens, he is void. That is
And
awful.
I think I look, I blame it on his rearing, because I do wonder. You think about, okay, his father's gone. He had an uncle, but that uncle passed away not too much longer after his father did. I really wonder who taught him to be a man and what that looked like, right? Because no, you can't show your emotion on the outside because we're always being watched. I really wonder if that made him in some way shut down.
He's definitely, and thank you so much for the super chat, emotionally unavailable. But there's always like a hint of manipulation with John, and
Yes.
it's kind of in a, even if it is, why isn't it? Is it going?
It just popped up and then it left.
It's so weird. Even if it is like a minor, maybe the inconvenience type situation. Well, if I do this or say this, will that get you to come out? Where versus, what can I do to help? Who do we need to talk to? What do you need more from me? Well, I'm tired of, answering these questions and people asking me like, ma'am, you aren't showing up the way I need you to outside. And this, once again, a more so of a public appearance and the expectation versus Carolyn's emotional state. Would you really want her out there with you in this state suffering? If you love me and you're my husband, I don't think you would even ask that, or that would even be a conversation to have. I would be trying to see how can we get to the depths of what the issue is. So hopefully when you're better and you want to come out, you're more inclined to, versus, girl, people are waiting on us at the door. People are looking for you. I have to make an excuse about where you are. You're supposed to show up on my arm. No. The difference to me, Jay is as marketed. He wasn't playing games for whatever reason she seemed to be, so I could see her vulnerability confusing him. Ashley?
I can see that. Well, and again, we're only going based on what the show has presented, y'all. So just keep that in mind with the responses and with the comments, because I know what A is saying here. The way that Carolyn is presented very early on is very strategic, and I'm playing a game and I'm only going to let you in. And she says it later on in the episode. Listen, I brace myself. This is how I raised myself in this world. I'm bracing myself for impact because I know at the end of the day, if I open myself up to someone and everything goes to hell, I'm going to be the one that has to pick up the pieces. So very much so, I believe that she has been guarded. But what I think people, I don't know, for me, I see his character very, very clearly. And I don't think he's a bad person innately, but I think he plays a manipulation game almost like a kid does. Let me cry these tears to get my way. Let me say this thing, right? It's going to make you feel guilty. And I don't agree with Berman. Y'all know I was happy when he drop kicked Berman's ass across that office. But when he said you're a professional victim, people feel sorry for you. And that's why they do X, Y, or Z. Whether he knows it or not, he plays into that. Like, even in this moment when he's like, oh God, because, it was my mom and she left and I just didn't want whatever. And then we see Carolyn going to his aid to comfort him. We saw it very early in the season after they had their first breakup. And he's like, I'm used to the world bending to my whim and to my will. And I just don't know what it's like to be this. And we see again, a Carolyn extending the hand, like, I'm here, I'm going to help you through this, we're going to do this together, I'm going to be your one. I don't even know if it's conscious, but I see it every single time he plays one of these, and I won't call it a game. I think this is how he feels, but it doesn't change the fact that it's manipulating her to do what he wants her to do, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion.
Yeah, and I don't think it's like with malice. I think so much of his life, like the sister said, why do we always have to show up and be performative for the public and these cameras? He's still trying to do that. As rebellious as he pretends to be, he cares and it matters. So the same way he doesn't seem to have as much sympathy, in my opinion, for Carolyn's state and how the paparazzi and the tabloids are treating her and what they have to say. Best believe if they did and said the same things about him and he wasn't the golden boy, he would have a problem. He would have a problem. So it's like, yeah, I picked up these things, of course, from my family and my mother. It's always a sense of showing up, being strong, having direction. But as far as support and vulnerability and being honest, did that come in? I don't think that showed up so hard as much as the other things, because I think we would see more duality in John. John is very one note, and it's almost feeling like so many other women would have been just happy to be on my arm. Like I thought, I found everything that I needed when from how he acts. It's like you wanted a trophy and you wanted someone who was, because he was used to a type of woman. Oh, they're blonde,
Mhm.
they're attractive, they're excited,
Model
like, oh,
S.
they're gonna
Yeah.
they're gonna love this limelight. I'm not gonna I don't have to beg them to come to a function or show up or embrace the paparazzi or embrace my family. They would be, happy to do so. And here you are, locked away like Rapunzel. Girl, get
He
up
said
and wash
Daryl would
these
have been
dishes.
there. Daryl would have been
He
there
said
working the
Daryl
room.
would have been there. Girl, Daryl would have called them paparazzi herself, the way that they were acting. But it just feels like with the both of them, it's like I didn't anticipate having to do so much work. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. And I think it's really present when we jump and it's 1 year later. I say, well, dang.
Still fighting, Jesus.
Dang. And I think that makes sense. I don't think people give enough credit to how quickly a year goes by. A year has gone by and nothing is moving. Nothing is moving for them in this relationship. It does not feel like they're making any progress. And I'm sure Carolyn wasn't, in here locked up like Rapunzel for a full year, but just progression emotionally in their relationship, it's not happening. A year later, I just love the representation of John here literally playing with fire. Like, John,
Literally.
John, please. We're not only physically playing with the fire and using that as a metaphor, but John is real snappy. You're injured. And it's like,
Mhm.
well, yeah, since you are, we should be laying low, as far as, piloting and getting your point. Yeah, whatever. I don't need that. That's two different things, Carolyn. You don't even know what you're talking about. I know what I'm doing. I'm going to keep doing those. I'm going to fly that plane and I'm going to do that. Yeah, you're supposed to be chilling. At the point that John said, I know where they are. It's in my room. I say, oh,
Mhm.
y'all sleeping in separate rooms?
I know. It all came
You
out.
guys are sleeping in separate rooms. We have this dinner party and Carolyn has Plex, because don't try to pawn me off on anyone. Don't try to set up any job prospects for me or tell somebody what I'm so good at or why I'm so great or why I should be hired. Who said I was ready or even wanted to be hired? I'm not ready for that, John. And if I was, it wouldn't be that job. Well, I was just trying. No, you were trying yet again to find a way to get me out, get me into the public. Well, yeah, I was just trying to smooch, and they're your friends. Just it's we. There is no connective tissue here. It's just so hard. Like they're so attractive. They're such a beautiful couple. But when John utters like, yeah, my mother wouldn't have approved. I was like, oh, we got the gun. We have the gun. When the truths come out, my mother wouldn't have approved. Well, my mother didn't approve of you either. She told me not to marry you. Yeah, we all heard the speech. I'm not talking about the speech. I'm talking about the private conversation that she had with me before she even made that speech. Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, they're so frustrating. They are really, really frustrating. it feels like their problems are so easily fixed, but I feel like these people are both really emotionally immature, and this just wasn't something that they were ready for, and this isn't something that could be fixed overnight, and it seems like nobody really wants to put the work in. So like, is it, if it's not giving that, did you ever really care as much as you pretended to? Was there ever really any more depth beyond we both look good on paper, so we should work and we should match? Because nobody's budging a year later. And John is making it very evident and clear, I'm going to do what I want when I want, even though I'm supposed to be set. And Carolyn, yeah, I'm not ready to go back out. I'm not ready to be seen. I don't want to do the work, the job, the anything. When I get there, I will, but I won't be forced to by you. I don't know. Ashley.
John said you gonna do something. You listen, it's been years. You're not gonna just keep sitting around here. Listen, my mother was 46 and went from a voracious reader to a publisher. I know about your mama. Don't talk about my mother, Carolyn. That's one thing you won't do, all right? Because if I would have listened to my mama, listen, she would have not encouraged this. Well, my mom, I should listen to my mama too. I said, okay, now we're getting in the mamas. It was crazy as hell. She's like, listen, John, I have been working since I'm 15 years old. I am 33. Can I have a break? Hell no. You need to sit on a board. You need to get on a charity. Listen, he said, I tried to let Petra hire you and you messed that up. Don't you work in fashion? She said, PR. I was a publicist, John. You don't even know what I do. She said to him in this conversation, you schedule me in like I'm an appointment every week just so you can mark it off your box like you've done something. She said, you don't like me, you don't love me, you don't want me. You used to crave my words. You used to take my wisdom. You can't even stand to be around me anymore. And why the hell would I? I love the setting. I love that we're in the apartment, but it looks completely transformed after this dinner party. And I love that we have the leftover charcuterie, the melted candles, because I feel like that's the state of their relationship. It's in utter and complete shambles. What I will say is super smart about the writing is that we can even see the inconsistencies in each of these characters and things that they've said. Even earlier in the episode, Carolyn is like, I'm not a Kennedy. That's your family. Right? At the end of the day, that's your family. And then here at the party, he says, your friends. Don't delineate, John. They're your friends too. And it's like the same, it's, you know what I mean? It's 6 in one basket, half dozen in the other. You guys are really saying some of the same things, but it gets so ugly. At one point, he's like, damn it. Can we go out? It's only 11 o'clock, Carolyn. Listen, I need to be outside. I'm addicted to the outside. Yeah, I know. Because now you're closing George 3 a.m., 12 a.m., 1 a.m., John. You're not getting in here anymore. I just feel like you don't want to be around me. And of course, then it gets really ugly and we get into throwing words around to a point where John, I think, is kind of fed up. Again, this is his MO. He is going to run. When things get tight, when they get quiet, he's hobbling all around the apartment. So if you don't sit your ass down and take them 40 plus hours of instrumentation training that you need. She said, now you out here trying to fly planes. She said, you're crippled. You can't walk. You're going to fly a plane and you're not even fully trained, John. This was beyond. I do think he's playing with fire. Everything to me, especially even down to set design, is so intentional for this story because ultimately we know where these people are going to end up. I just was really hoping, Tyra, that we were going to get a moment of beauty and peace.
Happiness.
I really wanted.
No.
That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted.
No. Sad. It's all sad. After this episode, I was like, wow. I'm sure they're gonna bring it on home last episode and give us something. Because even if it was that, I don't think the writers would want to hit us, with double tragedy like that. Like, wow, they couldn't even find some peace beforehand because it's just all so bad. Did you expect John to have a little bit more understanding of the jobs? Because when he said, like, oh, you need to get a charity, you need to do something. And she's like, it was very, I'm only 33. Can I have a break? This is the same rhetoric that you hated being spewed to you about you needing to make a decision and there's an expectation and you're John F. Kennedy Jr. You can't just, what are you trying to do, act? And I went to go to that Murphy Brown episode, okay?
Did you find it?
Okay, I found it and I saw John's scene. Beautiful, beautiful gowns. We don't really want to go off of a cameo. I went to search. I was like, I really want to see something else that John was in to maybe have a true moment with him that's not him making a cameo as John F. Kennedy Jr. and promoting that George magazine. It didn't give long lasting career. He was cute.
Fine though. He was
He
fine.
was cute. He
But
was handsome in the episode. Did you expect
but
him to understand?
so here's the thing. I think like we always like I don't know I'll speak for myself. When I was younger, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I'm never going to be like my mom." I'm never like, "Oh my god, these rules, the way you want your house kept, the way you fold towels, I'm never going to do that." All these years later, I'm exactly like that. I think it's like the things that you hate but are programmed in you, eventually you begin to perpetuate them, right? Later on in
Mhm.
life. I think he despised, being told what to do and what the expectations of him were. But now at this point, I think it's easy to inflict that on somebody else because you've lived it your whole life. You're like, yeah, but that was me. I was able to rebel and everything, but you're different. You're the woman. You're supposed to do what I tell you to do. You're supposed to be my
You're the
trophy.
woman.
I chose you for a reason, Carolyn. I knew you wanted this Kennedy money. I knew you wanted this Kennedy name. I knew you wanted this Kennedy name. I thought you were gonna, hop to it,
Hop
and you're
to it.
so disappointing. Listen, why is no one ready? I thought you were gonna hop to it, Carolyn, and you didn't. But yeah, I think it's so easy to perpetuate the things that we hated when we were younger, especially as it comes to how we were raised, right? You have to have a plan, you have to know what you're gonna do. And he doesn't want a lazy, well, here's the thing.
Lazy, low down, good for nothing.
I don't think this is as much about him caring as everybody else caring. He cares what
Mm.
everybody else thinks about what she's not doing. I think if it was just him and her, he wouldn't care that much. I just think he has
Mm.
to hear it. What's Carolyn doing? Did she pick a board? Did she pick a charity? Did she, pick an organization? Is she going to start something on her own? Like what is she doing? I think he's sick of fielding those questions, but he's overstepping.
Oh Lord, but it can be exhausting. The way Carolyn discussed her having to make sure she has a drink and she's drinking something, or the rumors are going to spiral about whether or not she's pregnant. It's exhausting, and you're not even like there. Just the little things that she had to consider. Once we make it upstairs, barely, because he hopping. I was like, what part of take a break don't you understand? Now I wanted to take a pause for the mothers, and their disapproval of it all, because unfortunately Mama Jackie went on before we even got to meet Carolyn or say what. And beforehand, oh, my mother would have loved you. Oh my God, I just wish you could have met my mother, and oh, she would have approved. And this is what my mother wanted for me. She wanted me to settle down with someone who could, be well with the family. And at this moment, my mother, yeah, she wouldn't have approved at all. Yeah. Well, my mother, the same thing. If your mother doesn't approve, Ashley, is it an automatic red flag? And did you feel that it was ominous that both of these mothers, Jackie can't speak for herself, wouldn't have approved of this union?
Well, see, I feel like my mom told you that my mama had the sight, so I tend to trust what she said. Everything she said came true. So I listen. Hey, my mama was totally different, but in these mamas, Carolyn mama won't wrong. And like I said, I really felt like I don't think she knew that this would be the end and like the death of her daughter, but she knew that this was going to be tragic in one way or another, whether it was for her daughter's psyche or her daughter's life. So in that instance, I would have trusted Carolyn's mama. Now, as far as Jackie O, um, to me, it was just so based on the opinion of others, not really a true, genuine hope that your child would be happy. It almost takes you back to like the olden days when they had arranged marriages and what was going to
Arranged
be
marriages.
this for the kingdom and what it was going to make sense on paper, very much for breeding, and not so much for the love of it. I think that Jackie O would have had wisdom in the situation. She knew Daryl wasn't it, right? Based on what we saw. But I do question who would have been right. Would it have been right just in image, or would it have really been right for her son? But my mama, Tyra, I was gonna trust my mama. How about you? You trust in yours?
Hell yeah, let me get this off. Absolutely, I'm gonna trust my mom. Like, even in I have the mothers here because they were mentioned in the episode, and I love how when they decided, the moment you guys decided to mention your mothers for the first time that we've seen, or even consider what they had to say, is when you're in disagreement with each other. And it felt like it's out of spite. Well, my mother didn't like you. My mother wouldn't have approved of you either. Ha! Like, oh, you trying to cut me deep, Shrek. You're trying to cut me deep. But I really feel like it was so many people surrounding them, giving them every single reason why you should, even if you just want to date, even if it's, you shouldn't be getting married though. How about we wait? How about, it was a lot. It was a lot of, well, maybe, and we just ignored everything, and we were in this love bubble and living our best life. But now that we're here, the heat is on, and it's literally been 5 minutes. Y'all been married for 5 whole minutes in married time, in my opinion. It's giving, go on, get that annulled, honey. That's what it's feeling like. Thank you so much for the super chat. Agreed, not a Jay apologist. I do think he has acted the same since day one, where C may feel brand new.
He really
and that's what John. You said what you said?
I said he really hasn't. I mean, he's made some promises he hasn't kept, but he's had that same kind of aloofness since the beginning. She's the one who's kind of, I think, opened up more since we initially saw her. But she was always a little bit surly too. Like, she was always a little bit kind of cut on the edge.
Flipping that hair around.
But I don't think we've seen her as vulnerable.
Now this is when I feel like the manipulation pushes through on Carolyn's side, because we gonna cry, honey. We gonna cry when this vein pops out in the middle of, when that Mama Maryland vein pops out in the middle, and we make those faces. I said, Carolyn, get up. I literally said, girl, get up. Once we leave the yo mamas of it all, we hobble upstairs and get to packing a bag. Because where are you going? Yeah, you know what? I can't take another failure. I can't take another failure. If it's not about this magazine going down the toilet, about just the expectations of my career, man, marriage, children, everything that I feel like I've ever tried to do, I failed at. This is yet going to be another failure under my belt. And I can't take it. I'm gonna pack a little bag. I'm just go to somebody's in some fancy smashy splays, and I won't be that long. It's just you. But you need a bag though, John. You need a bag. You won't be there long, but you need a bag. I won't be there long. This isn't me like giving up or just walking away from you or our relationship, but I just need some time. Baby Carolyn breaks down. If you love me, if you ever loved me, you'll stay here. Don't leave me. My mom told me that you would never put me first, and I would always be, just don't leave, Jeff, please. Just, oh my God. I said, get up, Carolyn. He said, sorry for you. I gotta go. I gotta go. I'm making a personal decision for myself, because this is what we do when the tough gets going and it's a bit too much. I need my space. It didn't have to be this. It did not have to be this, but you could see this coming a mile away with the discussions of, it almost felt like you seeing me, or just the disappointment on my face every day that I'm not meeting you where you are, or the expectations of a husband or a wife on both sides. It's just too much to take. It's not enough though for us to compromise and try to work it out or really support each other for real. It's just enough for us to see who can manipulate what in the favor to get the other person to bend to our will. Like, I don't feel like nobody's giving anything. And I'm not going to keep throwing Carolyn a bone because that vein popping out in the middle of her forehead. I'm just not. I'm just not. There were so many other choices to make. After we have a talk about me being, a check off in the appointment book, you coming in all kinds of hours, like, the disconnect is happening. I don't feel supported. I don't feel protected. It's like, yeah, good to know. I'm going to leave. Like, what? How do you leave? How do you leave after what we're 2 years into marriage now? You have this type of fight with your spouse on either side, and you leave? What is that going to solve? But this is all John knows how to do. And once again, it's not about either one of them. It's about public perception. I can't fail again. What? This isn't about you failing. Is our marriage? Yeah, there's a potential for it to fail, but it's not going to not fail because you leave. But in that sense, I think that's why we got on these knees. Carolyn wants it to be about her. And I want to know that I matter. That I said, she's like, you used to care about me. You used to hang on to my every word, and you used to crave, and we would just have sex, and it was just all, yeah, it's none of that. Do you really care? Do you still want me? Do I still matter? Yeah, I still love you. Stay up. I need to go. I need to go and choose myself at this moment. I'm so sorry. Ashley, what should have been done in this moment?
Lord, she shouldn't have been on her knees. I'll tell you that. When Carolyn got down, baby, please, don't leave me, John. Don't leave me, John. Don't leave me, John. And he said, listen, Carolyn, if I stay, I'm going to say some things and you're going to say some things and we're going to say some things that we really don't mean. So I'm going to go over here to the Waldorf or wherever I'm going. Call the doorman if you need me. It won't be too long. She says, John, if you leave right now, I fear this is going to be worse than anything you could ever say, John. Don't leave me, John. Don't leave me, John. John said, forehead kiss. All right, I'll see you later. Yeah.
You love a forehead kiss.
Yeah, I'll be up the street. It won't be long, Carolyn. Literally, she's on her knee. Like, to prostrate yourself before a man. Carolyn, to prostrate herself before John and be like, I'm begging you, don't leave me on this bus by myself. Please don't leave me on this sinking ship by myself. And he said, ho, I'll see you on the flip side. I said, he don't give a single damn about this lady. Because here's the thing. In marriage, I don't feel like you leave your marital home unless it's like barring violence, like physical violence. You guys are already sleeping in separate rooms. What was the necessity for you to go, John? Were you out there meeting somebody? Because now my mind starts spinning. Who outside, John? You already told me downstairs when you was playing with the fire, literally, that you wanted to get out this house. Now you're making it so. Well, who's outside? Who's outside, John? We know you've been a philanderer for years. It doesn't give, I love my wife. Because if y'all made Tyra, if your husband got down on his knees and said, baby, please, in Dwayne Wayne fashion, baby, please, on his knees. And I mean, he ain't put his hands on you. He's not cussing you out, but he's begging for you to stay and talk to him.
You're going to stay.
You're going to stay.
You're going to stay. Even if it's like, I need a moment, you take your corner, I'm going to take mine. I'm like, babe, I just need a moment to gain my sanity. I love you, but this is a bit much. Let me calm down and we can revisit this moment. Packing your raggedy duffel bag is like disregarding the entire situation. I knew that we were going to leave before he made it upstairs and he gave her what everybody else gave her. You knew who I was before you married me. And you knew what this was.
And while that's partially true, both things can be true, right? It can be true that she had an idea of what this was, but it can also be true that you lied, that you literally promised that you were going to be there. You were going to make her a priority, and you've done nothing of the sort. What happened to a midnight run, John? Why you need your whole bag, John? Where are you going, John? I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
Not your whole bag.
Listen, his spend a night bag. His spend a night bag.
His spend a night bag. I don't know. And I've been waiting because there were always kind of rumors around their relationships of infidelity. I didn't know if they were going to explore that. That's why this episode I was like, baby, Carolyn gonna say, hey, big head, what you doing? I need to talk. Whether it's, emotionally cheating or, physically cheating, those were kind of surrounding, the relationship. I don't know if they're going to visit that here, but if we are taking a spend a night bag, I would not be surprised because they said they were over there spending the night. So, but you knew what this was. That immediately I was like, oh, he's washing his hands. Like, you knew what this was before you got here. Either you're going to roll with this or you're going to get rolled over because I'm not changing. My lifestyle isn't changing. That's what it gave. And it's just, I thought that you were going to join. I thought that you were going to acclimate and be happy to do it. Who wouldn't be? I'm John F. Kennedy Jr. He said, don't you, girl, do you see the material? Do you see the material? Don't you love this life? Like what do you it's giving like what do you have to be so damn unhappy about? Like what is the
You
problem?
have a good
Like
life.
aren't we happy? No, we're not. It was very sleeping with the enemy. I was like, John, please.
It was. It was, and then a forehead
John,
kiss.
it,
That's the worst. Let me kiss you on the
it's the
forehead.
oh he loved good. I see he love it's very I will I will embrace you. I'm gonna kiss you on the forehead. But I think just the way that he was brought up, like we don't, it's giving like no time for tears. You got to be tip top. Like let's just go. Like how much time did they have when there was loss in the family? Were they able to like really mourn? Like where is the emotional depth coming from? Because John was very like damn, ho, you crying again? It's this is just that's just the energy. That's just the energy he gives. Like it's not wanting to show up like I gotta support. It's like, I have to support her. She's still not emotionally okay enough to even come out. Like, how long am I gonna have to deal with this before you're okay?
Yeah. Like what are you
Because I can't keep making excuses. I need you to show up to the function.
And someone asked about
Maybe
her
I don't
mental
know.
status, and the word on the street was that she was on Prozac. At least that's what they said, and I think that's for depression, right? So she was. I think she was like she was seeing that lady. She was on that lady's couch. She was definitely having some issues in the moment, and I don't think he was sensitive to that at all.
He wasn't. He wasn't in this. These acts of love me, choose me, pick me. This was not going to get him to stay. And I think we saw this last time. When she broke down, when the tabloids were really on their neck. That the beginning of that first year after the honeymoon, this kind of brought him in. But it's like, how long is he willing to give that depth for Carolyn, even if you want to call it depth? Because it's really like, okay, let's just quick fix. What do you need me to do? How do you need me to? I'm gonna be here in whatever capacity I can be as long as my life's not stopping. When she said you've adjusted nothing, you've changed nothing, you've done nothing, John. You're still the John. And it's like, well, you knew who I was before you met me. I never said that my life would stop. But you said that I would matter and you would, never put me in the back seat and we were going to be partners and you were going to protect me in the paparazzi and you were going to fix it. Yeah, I remember that. I was there when I said
But I lied.
but you didn't do any of it.
I lied. Yeah, that's a lie.
You didn't do any of it. I don't know. I don't know what she thought that this was going to do, but he said, get up. That's what he said. He said, get on up because I'm leaving. Ashley, episode 9, any predictions?
Girl, I predict that you're gonna respond to Dane's super chat before he has a fit, Tyra.
I'm going back. I saw it. I'm so sorry. The chat is a little laggy, Dane. I do apologize. I'm going to find it now. I'm back, baby. Where were you? Where were you, Dane? Where you been? Where you been, Dane? I noticed your absence. I just figured, for whatever reasons, you needed a little moment. Thank you for the super chat and thank you for being back, Dane Pooh. Ashley, any prediction?
How many episodes is this? A 10 or 11 episode season? How many episodes do we get? Do you know? Drop it in the chat.
I thought it was 10.
I thought it was 10. So this is the penultimate episode. So I think the happenings are going to happen in this episode. I think we're going to see it go down because remember the first episode actually opens up on the last day of their lives. I think we will get the full day, probably episode 9. I think we'll see all of the things they were kind of going through getting up to that point. And then I think we'll probably see the terrible, tragic event happen. I'm not ready for it to be over, Tyra. I'm not. I really was hoping that we were going to get to see a settled in type of peaceful love at some point.
Is it just 9 episodes? That's all we get?
Next week?
I don't, with these shows, Lord. We be wanting everything to be a nice, round, even number. We be wanting like, it's 10, it's 12. It's 9 episodes.
He said 9.
If it's not 8, it's supposed to be 10. If it's not 10, it's supposed to be 12. You don't give us 9.
Ryan always finds a way to play on my nerves. Always. If it was grotesquerie, it'd be 11 episodes. If it was a damn monster, it'd be 10 episodes. Like, come on, Ryan. All right.
Girl, how many episodes did we get? Like 10 episodes of Beauty? Like, however many episodes? Like, man, come on. Well, so much for not ready for it to be over. Actually,
Well, then
it's gonna be
things
done.
will really happen
So
next week. So still my prediction was correct.
I I really didn't want episode 9 to be the last episode because we're so unhappy here. It's so broken here. I wanted these people to find solace before death. I did.
But maybe that's the
I wanted to
reality
see some bright.
of life sometimes.
That's so
It's
sad.
devastating. Golly.
I thought they was going to be in a better place, and because we knew that they weren't from the opening of that first episode, and it's like the nail polish. Carolyn looks over it; she looks upset. That's why I was like, okay, well, we're going to get into some happiness, and then we're going to maybe have an argument, and maybe we have an expectation to be X, Y, and Z at whatever time. I'm going to put my personal feelings to the side and get on this plane with John, even though I'm not feeling it. But I didn't think that the thread would run from this episode all the way through. We are not okay. We just gonna leave like this?
Yes, it's looking like
All right.
down bad.
I don't know.
We got to
I don't
remember
like
the good times. We got to remember episode 2 and,
I mean,
3.
even if that is how it went, like, just give me a piece of fantasy, okay? Just do something to make me feel better.
Make me feel good. I want to feel
Do
good.
something to make me feel good. I want to feel good. Make me feel good. Okay, please, Holly, bury me, please. Ugh. Well, y'all, that was Love Story. That was Love Story. Hopefully, you guys had a good time. Please leave any commentary that you have. Let me get this super chat, y'all, while I see it. It is in the darkest blue, matching everything, and trying to make me miss it. But thank you so much. Ashley Speaks 09 for the super chat. Keep it up, ladies. Thank you so much. But once again, thank you guys so much for watching and being here for our shenanigans. This has been a lovely journey, and I'm gonna miss this show. This show has really grown on me in a matter of 8 episodes. I think it's brilliant. Everything about it. I have not had a problem with this show thus far. Like ratings, I would literally give every single episode that we've seen thus far like 8, 9 to 10s. Nothing below that. Like, we don't never get the good stuff for long. Ashley, anything you want to share with
That's why we can't have nice things. Like, damn. It's been so intentional, from like set design to cinematography to wardrobe to like, it's just been a beautifully well thought out, well crafted show, ultimately. For however people feel about the real life people. This is a fictionalized story of real people. But you guys, make sure you're subscribed. Thank you so much for coming through and supporting the live tonight. I know there's like 90 over here. Thank y'all for coming through. My upload will be up tomorrow. Don't forget, we have uploads all next week. Like, comment, subscribe, hype if you got any hype points that helps your girls out. Yeah, and thank y'all for being here. I think members only have a movie night coming up, right?
Yeah, tomorrow at the usual time, members only, we will be getting into Whiplash. I have never seen Whiplash, and I've always wanted to watch it. So we will be. Actually, have you seen Whiplash? I didn't even ask
seen it
you.
ages ago, and I think I cut it off midway through. But so I didn't.
Really?
Yeah. That guy
was it for bad reason?
That professor, he's very aggressive. I didn't like it. Something was odd to me. But yeah.
See, now I'm nervous, y'all. Ashley, I'm gonna put Ashley through it anyway because I didn't know. I didn't know. We're gonna be getting into Whiplash with a member. So if you are a member, pull up on me tomorrow and enjoy that blockbuster movie night with us. But thank you guys so much for watching and super chatting and commenting and hyping the video. We appreciate you, and we will see you next time.
Good night.
Good night, y'all. If it ever goes away.